My name is David Menenberg, and this is now the second chance I've been honored to speak to Eastlake's graduating class. Though if you remember, last year was a little bit different than today's circumstance. I mean, what do I say to a group of kids who spent a quarter of their senior year stuck at home with their parents, who worked for 4 years to get into their dream schools only to find out that they may or may not be on campus in the fall, who day in and day out stare at screens waiting for permission to leave their homes? What can I say to you? What can anyone say? I can start by saying I'm sorry. I don't fault you for feeling angry or upset or disappointed, but I can't tell you that tomorrow will be any different or even better. The truth is, you've all been shortchanged. Rites of passage, the experiences, the memories, the closure on this momentous chapter of your young lives, and perhaps most significantly, on the length of my speech today. Even still, I'm grateful for this opportunity to speak to you all. And to the family and staff members who helped you get here today, I want to acknowledge all of your hard work and sacrifice and simply say thank you. Even now, you're being stretched and challenged in ways you could never have anticipated. And these young people before us today are your reward. What a privilege it has been to take part in the class of 2020 success. This class is special to me for a number of reasons. When I taught most of them, I was on what is known as a super contract, which basically means that I had students in my classroom every moment of every school day. And while most teachers and parents would shudder at the thought of that, if I'm being honest, for me it was a highlight of my teaching career. I can say that because of the kids I was privileged to teach. I got to see them grow to where they are now, from wee sophomores who I busted for cheating a quiz, to the fine young men and women I got to write letters of recommendation for. They've challenged me, pushed me, frustrated me, made me laugh, cry. They helped me grow. I love this class. I love these kids. You know, there's an old adage that warns us not to miss the forest through the trees. And what it means is that oftentimes we find ourselves facing a situation or a set of circumstances, good or bad, and we get so intensely focused on what is right in front of us that we miss the bigger picture. It happens to us all at times, but it is especially during a time like this, and mind you, I doubt any of us will live to see another time like this, that we would all do well to step back and see the forest. You see, right now we're in the middle of it. We're standing in front of a massive tree, and it's difficult to see anything else. But let me assure you, the bigger picture, the forest, is here as well. As your history teacher, I want to remind you that time and time again, humanity has risen from far more devastating moments in our shared history. For example, following the Black Death in the 14th century came the Renaissance, a period of remarkable advances in the arts and sciences. In fact, many of humanity's greatest achievements have occurred following unimaginable suffering and destruction. And while time will tell the human toll of this present crisis, it is without question an opportunity for our people, all of you, to change things for the better. When it comes down to it, you can look at anything that happens to you in your life in one of two ways: fear of loss or hope for gain. It's not difficult to see the loss that is all around us: lives, communities, businesses, economies, and proms, parties, and graduations, all real. But what is harder is to look again for the forest through these trees and to see the hope that is there, the hope for gain. Most of you have many, many years ahead of you, your whole lives, as they say. And when you get to be my age, what has happened here and now will seem at least like a distant memory, but the stories you tell your children and your children's children start today in this new world that you will help create. There's an ancient Greek proverb that tells us that a society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they know they shall never sit. Well, my young friends, you stand ready on the precipice, seeds in hand, and if it is very likely that if you plant them well, you will live to sit in their shade. Those of you who have had me as a teacher know that I hate cliches, and I certainly don't like speaking in metaphors, but I have to say that I envy you as you step out into this great unknown, an unknown very unlike that of graduates who came before you. You see, in years past, graduates would expect to hear that they would be the ones who changed the world, and it may or may not have happened in some way. But this, my young friends, is a rare once-in-a-lifetime moment that unmistakably has left you with a profound chance to do big things, a profound chance for hope. A major reason that I have so much hope in all this is because of you, the class of 2020. If there's one thing this crisis has made abundantly clear, it is how much we need each other. How much us boomers, and boomers, by the way, is anybody who is over the age of 30 to these young kids, how much us boomers need you young people. Not virtually or remotely, but physically, in person. Taking a walk with a friend, sharing a cup of coffee, or even just waving to your neighbor from your porch. Do not miss the plain truth of our human need for each other, for community. This whole thing's going to make one hell of a story one day, and you will be the ones to tell it. Will it be one of fear or loss, or will it be one of hope for gain? What kind of story do you want to tell? It's up to you to write it, but I can say for my part, I look forward to hearing it. It's time to step back and see the forest through the trees, my friends. You've done it. You're graduates, and the world is yours to change. Congratulations, class of 2020. It has been my privilege and my honor